I practiced this speech about 100 times for the past couple of days, and it comes out different every time. So hopefully this is a good version. Tonight is about the team, not about any individual. But I'm going to make it about me for about 5 minutes, so just bear with me. I never thought that I would ever come back here. I left this university over 20 years ago on what some would describe as a bad note. That was my own fault. That was my own doing. And it took me a long time to come to terms with that over the years, but I have. And I'm very grateful to be here. Standing here on stage with these great men, these great teammates, these great coaches. I'm truly humbled to be in their presence, and I want to thank Coach Beasley for making this a reality. Wrestling is a huge part of my life. I've been coaching for over 20 years. I started a club called the Yale Street Wrestling Club 13 years ago in New Jersey, and it's still one of the premier clubs today. In 2007, I was hired as a police officer. I know that's hard for a lot of you guys to believe. And part of my job as a police officer is I teach at the police academy. I teach self-defense. So there's days that I'm on the mat from 6 a.m. To 8 p.m. So wrestling is obviously still a huge part of my life. My family's here tonight. My wife Joanna, she was with me before I started coaching, and she helps me run the business. My two boys, Dominic and Anthony, who are becoming great wrestlers in their own right, and I'm so very proud of them. Last week we were at the Super 32 and I ran into Doug Schwab, a national champ from Iowa and head coach at Northern Iowa. Doug beat me in the blood round of the NCAAs my freshman year, and he beat me in the Midlands Finals my sophomore year. He remembers me as a George Mason wrestler. This is where I did my best wrestling with this team and under these coaches and at this university. Some of my greatest accomplishments were in a George Mason singlet. And I'm proud that my family's here with me tonight to be able to see where I did it and who I did it with. All right, enough about me. Now we're going to get on to the team. As Coach Weeder talked about earlier, this was a very, very good team. We had a lot of talent, but we also had a lot of character. Before I get into that, before I go through the lineup, which I want to do because everybody on this team has a special place in my heart, I want to say that one thing I realized after 20 plus years of coaching is that I would have hated coaching me. I was difficult, I was moody, I was negative at times, and that's why I have the utmost respect for Coach Schaefer and Coach Weeder, because they not only did they put up with me, but they got the most out of me. And they also helped me reach levels in this sport that I never thought I could reach. All right, now we're going to get into the lineup. 125, Sean Shea. Sean Shea was an 8-time NCAA qualifier, and that's before they had the COVID year. No, he was a 4-time NCAA qualifier. He won matches at the NCAAs every year, always went deep in the draw. He was a 6th-year senior on this team, and he was a hell of a leader. Sean was missed when he graduated. It was hard for me to adjust to George Mason without Sean Shea. He could hit a cement job from any position, neutral, bottom, top, even defer. I think I saw him go like this one time, and his opponent was on his back getting choked out. 133 was Matt Humpler. Matt was one of my best friends on this team. He was so slick, soft-spoken, great teammate. The saying, all bark and no bite, is the opposite of what Hunk was. He was all bite and no bark. As a 141-pounder, he was one of my main workout partners. Coach Weeder actually mentioned this earlier. A fun fact, in 2001, there were 2 UFC future Hall of Famers at our weight classes. Uriah Faber was at 133, Frank Yeager was at 141. Both of those future legends lost to a George Mason kid in the first round of the NCAAs that year. Adrian Austin, 149, so technical, so fast. He did things back then that you're just seeing people do now. He was way ahead of his time. I owe a lot of my success to Adrian because he was my main workout partner and he pushed me to levels I never thought I could reach. He was also a very, very good teammate and a great person. Sean Early, 157. He's the actual poster boy for Granby, for the Granby system and the Granby camps. If you open up a magazine today, a Win magazine, you will see Sean Early's picture performing a Granby role. And that's real. I talk about him all the time when I'm teaching Grammys to my wrestlers. One of the things, though, that I remember Sean early for more than wrestling is there was a night in my life that I had a very tough time. I was in a really dark place, really tough spot, and Sean was with me, and he made sure I didn't do anything stupid, and he watched over me, and if it wasn't for him, I might not have my job that I have today. So I'll never forget that, Sean. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. Tony Howard's not here today. He was a tremendous talent, and he was also a really smart wrestler. I have a story about Tony that I still, implement today as a coach. He was in a double overtime match in the conference finals, and he cautioned on purpose twice. I said, Tony, why'd you do that? He cautioned 3 times, it's a point. He goes, well, every time I caution, it takes a second off the clock. So, caution once is 29 seconds, caution twice, I only got to ride it out for 28 seconds. That's great. So now every time I coach, and a guy cautions, I always look at the head table, I go, make sure you put that time back on. That's Tony Howard. Nick Webster is at 174. Nick embodies the 2 most important things that I think that I look for in an athlete, and that's be coachable and be a great teammate, and that's what Nick was. You always knew you were going to get your full effort from Nick Webster every time he went out there. And if I had a high school team and I had 14 Nick Websters, I think we'd be a championship team. 184, Chip Campbell, another one of my best friends on this team. Chip had one of the best underhook throw-bys I've ever seen in my life. And the most excited I ever was for a wrestling match that I wasn't involved in was when Chip knocked off and beat a returning national qualifier and conference champ for Campbell in our home gym. We had some great memories on the mat and great memories off the mat. That was one of my favorite memories in college wrestling. Clay Fruit. Clay was 35 years old when he wrestled for us. Kid, he was 26. He served in the military before he came to George Mason and wrestled with us. He was a great leader, and he brought great wisdom to this team. I remember when we trained really hard, we had a really hard practice, we would always say, well, if Clay can do it, we can do it, because he's like an old man. But we didn't realize at 26 he was in an athletic prime. He was in way better shape than we were, much stronger than we were. Now heavyweight, Brent Lancaster. This one is especially tough because Brent's no longer with us. And when I got that news a couple years ago, it hit me really hard. He was a great friend and a great teammate. He was also my roommate for 2 years. Brent was like a big brother to all of us. He always looked out for us. You always felt safe when you were with Brent. And I know he's smiling, looking down on us now, because he loved being a part of this team, and he loved this team. And I know we miss Brent very dearly. I called him a big bear, so we miss you up there, Big Bear. Coach Schaefer. Coach had such a calming effect on me. In the corner, he always knew how to get the most out of me. My favorite story about Coach Schaefer is I was down 7-1 going into the second period at Cliff Keen in Las Vegas, and I was huffing and puffing, looking like I was aggravated. He goes, hey, just wrestle. You got 4 minutes to score points. Just wrestle. Something that you like doing, just go do it. And I thought to myself, what a crazy concept. And he was right, and I did it. And I took his advice, and I won the match, 11-10. Coach Weeder, he always, he exhibited the type of coach that I wanted to be. He was always there to put his sweats on and roll around with me when I needed to lose weight. At the NCAAs, he worked out with me every day, wrestled with me 3 matches, before the round started. Shocker, I didn't manage my weight properly, but Coach Reeder was there to do that, sweat with me, and he always let me score points on him when I started getting frustrated, so I always appreciated that. Thanks, Coach. Mm-hmm. In 2001, if you ask the guys on this stage, what do you think Donnie would be doing in 2025? And you give him the option, either A, in jail, or B, working as a police officer. I don't think anybody would choose B. And that's the truth. I've had to grow up a lot in the last 20 years, and one of the main reasons for that is the experiences that I had with this sport and with this team. I'm so grateful to stand in front of them today and say thank you. Thank you for the memories. Thank you for the moments that we shared together. Thank you for the impact and the influence that you all had on my life. But most importantly, thank you for making me a better person. I'm proud to say that I was part of this team. Thank you guys. Thank you, Coach Beasley, for making this happen.